I am Spiff the Ice King, and I'm still talking about Nightmare in the Ozarks. The next three films I saw were part of the Dangerous Dinners block of shorts, which started with Blossom Needs a Ride Home. This is a horror comedy short in the vein of Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, which hyped me the fuck up, and live up to that hype it did. So this movie starts at the end of a different slasher movie in the woods with a final girl overcoming the cannibal killer guy and running off into the woods. And this short asks the question, but where to? And the answer to that question is a farcical series of events that end with her once again riding into the sunset. It's hard to talk about a short without just spoiling the whole thing, which I don't want to do because this is fantastic and is best experienced blind and with fresh eyes. It's kind of doubly hard to talk about this one because as a comedy, it's really hard to tell you about what happens in the movie without just spoiling all the jokes. So I'll just leave it at it's very funny. And it's very funny in a much more subtle way, and basically everything is well made here. The acting, the cinematography, the effects, all of it was kind of pitch perfect. I was really impressed with how much story they were able to pack in without telling us. You know, there's not a whole lot of time spent sitting down and explaining what has happened or what's going to happen. It just lets the story unfold in front of you, which I found very refreshing, especially coming off the heels of Tribe. Unfortunately, a caveat comes with this recommendation because as a short, it's going to be notoriously difficult to find. So if you can find it, I definitely encourage you to check it out. The second short I saw in this block was the biggest heartbreak of my day. The short is called A Dish Best Served Cold, and it's a film noir type horror short with good but not great acting, a fantastic score, and great costumes and sets. It's actually made by a group out of Arkansas, and it was filmed locally, so I really wanted it to be so good I could just gush about it for weeks. Unfortunately, I feel like the writing and direction let everything down. It's a revenge story with a woman trying to get revenge on this rich dude that killed her fiance, boyfriend, dad, random dude in her life that we never see, but we're told was killed by Raymond Ulibarri. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I'm really trying here. But the main girl lets us know that Raymond's character killed her man in her life with some degree of reliability. There was a Q&A right after this short that the director told us that it was supposed to be her fiance, but it's never conveyed in the short itself, so I'm leaving that note as is. In fact, I think that's this short's biggest problem. We really just needed more of it, and at almost 20 minutes, that's kind of hard to say for a short, because you see, most of the time that we're in dialogue with these characters, it's just a real loop of these not so sly accusations and cliched lines that don't mean anything to us, the audience, because the story is never properly set up. It's all payoff, but we don't know what's going on, so we can never really fully appreciate what's happening. And I want to lay this directly at the director's feet because I feel like if Raymond was really let off the leash to just chew the scenery, we would at least have some fun and we could go into some full murdery effects. But as it is, it's a very held back performance. And it's like they tried to go Gomez Adams, but they ended up falling ass backwards into John Waters instead. So as much as I really wanted to like this one, I just have to give it a hard pass. The last short that I saw in this block was a short called Tasteless. Now, this is much more sci-fi than horror, and it's directed by a guy named Joe Gettle. These names are going to be the fucking death of me. I probably should have said this sooner, but I haven't seen anything else by any of the directors that I've talked about so far, Joe included. However, after seeing Tasteless, I desperately want to find more from this director. It's kind of the opposite of Dish, as This director knows what to show and when to show it, and he can convey an entire world inside of the 20 minutes that he had. Honestly, this is like 3 movies rolled into one and asks dozens of questions without ever missing or leaving a character plot thread dangling. We open the story with a guy trying to get dinner when his date stands him up. He stumbles across a single table style fine dining experience and convinces the chef to basically just make him some dinner. And the rest of the short is just the two of them in this single room, and that's engaging enough to carry us through the entire 19 minutes of twists and turns that I'm just going to stop here for fear of spoiling it, but suffice it to say, I thought it was incredible. And I really just have to emphasize on this one how well the direction comes across. It really is just two people talking about food, but Joe makes this one of the most poignant things I've seen probably all year. I will be desperate to find this streaming and show everyone I can, but until I can find that link, I want you to stick around because there's still a few more movies I have to get through before I'm done with Nightmare in the Ozarks. But as for this Blade Runner short, give it a watch if you ever come across it. And until then, sayonara, bitches.